Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be providing a really exciting update on a company that we initially covered a couple of months ago on the channel. The company name is MLCL Holdings. They're involved in the infused cannabis beverage space, and they just came out with two huge pieces of news in the last couple of weeks. Now with that being said, please take a second, you guys, hit the like button. It's a huge help to both myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below if you're currently holding shares of MLCL, how you think they stack up to some of the other cannabis plays we've talked about on this channel, and what you think about these recent developments or news. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be providing an update on MLCL Holdings Incorporated, trades under the ticker symbol MLCL on the Canadian Securities Exchange. You can see here, as of close on Monday, they were up 14% per share, which equates to about a cent Canadian to close out at 8 cents on the day. And that really is in anticipation of some big news that we're going to talk about in today's video. So there's a couple of major developments at this company since we put out our last update. I think our initial coverage of MLCL started about 2 months ago. So super excited to see this company progressing so nicely. In addition to that, they've updated their investor presentation. So we're going to do a quick run through their business model, some of the ways this company is really looking to differentiate themselves in the cannabis-infused beverage space. Now in terms of market cap, you'll see here on Yahoo Finance, it's listed at 7.6 million. They've got about 178 million shares on a fully diluted basis. So if you multiply that out by 8 cents per share, you're getting a market cap right around $14 million Canadian. So compared to any of the other beverage-based companies in the cannabis space that we've talked about on the channel, this is by far the smallest, and in my personal opinion, offers the most upside potential, as we're going to see in today's presentation. So for those of you who aren't familiar or maybe missed our initial coverage on MLCL, I wanted to jump over to the corporate website here and give you guys a quick refresher on what this company is about. So initially, MLCL set up as an on-ramp to the Canadian cannabis beverage market. They help craft beverage partners formulate high-quality, award-winning products which are packaged and infused at the MLCL Cannabis Production Campus, which is located in Eastern Ontario's Island region. Now that being said, the company has really gone through some transformation, and they've now developed a whole suite of in-house brands which they're selling directly to provincial distributors, and they're really starting to shift their business away from the co-packing or co-branding and fulfilling other companies' beverage orders to their suite of in-house brands, which are resonating extremely well with the cannabis consumer. So with that being said, there's two big pieces of news or developments that have come out over the last month, which I wanted to touch on in today's video. So number one, this came out February 9th. MLCL Holdings announces corporate rebranding, fresh sales update in the province of Ontario. So Fresh is one of those in-house brands that we just talked about. Again, this is probably the most popular of the suite of products or brands offered by MLCL. And you can see here, a Canadian craft-focused cannabis beverage production company is pleased to share that Fresh continues to grow in popularity for Ontario customers, as January sales achieved number 2 position in unit sales within the OCS or Ontario Cannabis Store retail stores. It also attained the number 1 spot in 10 milligram sales for online purchases through the OCS portal. So as mentioned in the intro, the popularity of these drinks is overwhelming, and the consumer is really asking for more and more products from the team at MLCL, and that's exactly what they're going to get in the next press release that we're going to cover. Now, in addition to the sales update for the province of Ontario, MLCL has also done a corporate rebrand, so you'll see their logo has changed from the last time we put a video out. And the 4 cornerstone brands are also shown here: Fresh, Klon, Cannabis, and Embody, which we talked about at length in that initial coverage of Molecule. And I should mention, each one of these 4 brands now has their own standalone Instagram page or profile, and the CEO, David Reingold, is very excited to have Fresh as a proven leader in the Ontario beverage category. The overall year-over-year unit beverage sales have grown substantially. We feel this is a combination of legacy consumers adding beverages to their baskets and new consumers experiencing the category in a familiar way. So we're actually going to talk about why Molecule is focused on the beverage category exclusively a little bit later in their investor presentation. This is a category within the overall cannabis market that's growing exponentially, and a lot of people are really turning to beverages as a familiar or comfortable way to enter the cannabis space. And with that being said, this is the big article. Super excited here, you guys, to release this one to you. Molecule Holdings to launch 7 new products in the Ontario Cannabis Store for spring and summer. So they're really leveraging that excitement and that momentum they've seen with their existing brands, and they're now going full scale here. They're putting their foot on the gas, and they're launching a whole suite of new products in anticipation of a very busy spring and summer, with restrictions starting to lift and people starting to go back to pre-pandemic regular life. So Molecule Holdings is pleased to announce that the Ontario Cannabis Store selected 7 new flavors of Molecule beverages to include in its upcoming spring launch. The products that have been accepted by the province include multiple flavors of the company's recently announced pillar brands, Cannabis, Embody, and Fresh, which we just talked about, along with one of the partner brands named Proper. So the new lineup is going to include the following products from Molecule: Cannabis Regular, Cannabis Espresso Spice, Embody Blood Orange and Rosemary Sparkling Red Tea, Embody Mint and Honey Sparkling Green Tea, Fresh Summer Punch, Fresh Pineapple Express, and Proper Blueberry Pomegranate. So a real range of different flavor profiles and types of consumers that they're really targeting. You can see Embody is more for the health-focused or tea connoisseurs, while Cannabis is obviously for coffee drinkers, and then Fresh and Proper really go after some of those summer citrus fruit type of flavor profiles. So obviously this is a massive development for these individual brands and the overall company, which is Molecule Holdings. David Reingold went on to say, "This is a transformative day for Molecule. This new group of products will almost triple our current offering in the market and provide us with the needed volume base to run efficiently and deliver nationally. The new and robust offering allows us to provide category solutions to provinces and retailers looking to take advantage of the beverage market with exciting new flavors." So what he really means there, you guys, if we unpack that statement, is volume is obviously king in production. So if they have a number of SKUs in market, they can run their production facility at full capacity, which leads to better efficiency, and they can now go into provinces, retailers, cannabis chains, and offer a whole suite of drinks to really address the entire product category. Now, in terms of that product category, the cannabis beverage category is unique in Canada with high barriers to entry for companies attempting to enter the industry. And we're going to see that in the investor presentation. The launch of these new flavors in the OCS can provide Molecule with significant opportunities to grow substantially within this category. So a massive congratulations to the leadership team here at Molecule Holdings on really a pivotal day or press release in the company history. So now we're going to shift gears. I'm going to jump over to the investor presentation, which was updated in December here, and I'm going to walk you guys through the business model and why Molecule is so focused on the beverage category specifically. So first things first, why beverages? Beverages are highly social, they taste great, they're enjoyed in many different formats and setting, they're familiar and they're popular at various different occasions, they lead to health food trends, they have dependable doses or controlled dosing, they're understood by new cannabis users, and they cross over from medical to recreational markets. So those are a number of reasons I just listed off there why this category is growing at such an exponential rate and why companies in the cannabis space are really looking to make an entrance or a presence within the beverage subcategory. And we've seen a number of the companies on this channel that we've talked about at length really try and make a push into this category specifically. And again, I think it's because it's super approachable. People are overly familiar with beverages or alcoholic beverages, and they see this as a very similar or very comfortable way to enter the cannabis space. Now, for cannabis connoisseurs who've been consuming cannabis in other formats over the years, this is obviously a bolt-on or an enhancement to the overall experience. So you're attracting new customers and you're getting existing customers who are already familiar with cannabis. And if we actually look at the Ontario Cannabis Store or OCS Beverage Sales per month over the last couple of years, you can see that trend is extremely obvious. And if you look at the graph here in terms of beverage sales, you can see a very healthy growth trend. And if we look back to November of last year, total sales were in the range of about $800,000. And if we look at November of 2021, they were nearing in at 1.8 million. So tremendous exponential growth in this category. And again, very difficult to enter. There's a lot of barriers to entry for existing companies or new companies wanting to get into this space, and that provides a perfect moat for companies like MLCL. And with that being said, I wanted to jump to this slide here, which talks about MLCL being uniquely beverage. So they're focused exclusively on the Canadian beverage market. They're fully integrated from innovation and development of their different flavors and brands through to the manufacturing and sales process, to market intelligence and fact gathering, which is then fed back full circle into increased innovation. They have a scalable 15,000 square foot efficient high-speed manufacturing facility. They have a current production capacity of 6 million cans annually, which can easily be scaled to over 20 million cans per year with minimal capital investment. The facility itself is scalable as well, so they can go up to 200,000 square feet in terms of their license expansion footprint. They've got multiple streams of revenue, which include their MLCL-owned brands, which we talked about, their in-house brand, and their contract manufacturing. We're going to look at the ratio of revenue or sales in relation to these two different revenue streams in a second here. And they've got ample space to easily expand into a CPG or conventional consumer packaged goods type of company if the market allows. So a ton of things going on with this company, a ton of room for expansion, and I really do think they're in a sweet spot in terms of the Canadian beverage market. And all of those various factors that we just talked about, in addition to the very bullish press release we just covered, obviously are going to lead to increased financial projections or revenue for the company. So you can see here quarterly revenue estimates through to the end of 2022. They're starting the year off Q1 estimating about $700,000 in top line revenue. That jumps exponentially in Q2 of 2022 up to about $2.5 million. By Q3 they're looking at about $3 million, and by Q4 of this year they're expecting in the range of about $3.75 million in top line revenue. And keep in mind, this is a company that currently has a market cap in the neighborhood of about $14 to $15 million Canadian. Now, with that being said, I just mentioned 2 slides ago a breakdown on their various different revenue streams. That's this chart here, you guys. So you can see the MLCL in-house branded products in blue here and the co-packed products in orange. And based on this graph, they do expect both revenue streams to grow over fiscal 2022, but the actual ratio or percentage of co-pack revenue compared to the overall company revenue is expected to drop off dramatically in approximately March or April of this year. So you can see currently in the month of February here, you guys, co-packing represents just about 70% of the company's total revenue. They're expecting that to drop down to about 25% in April throughout the remainder of the year as they start to introduce more of those in-house brands into the OCS and start to see their in-house brand revenue expand dramatically into the back half of this year. So I really wanted to stress this point. Although MLCL did initially set up as a co-packing facility, they are now starting to focus on their in-house brands and really make a name for themselves in the beverage category. And speaking of those in-house brands, here's a closer look at those 4 cornerstone brands we talked about. So Fresh is really focused on the sparkling water category. Canajo is coffee or teas, as we talked about. Klon is really focused on the mocktails. And Embody, again, is focused on that health and wellness category. So taken together, they really do span the beverage category quite nicely. Holistically, they've got products in each and every corner of this market, and regardless of consumer tastes or preferences, they've really got a solution or an option to meet those customer needs. And based on everything we've talked about up until this point in the video, I wanted to throw in this break-even analysis or forecast So MLCL is currently expecting to break even in Q2 of 2022, which is a massive milestone for any of these small public companies. Their forecasted break even is roughly 165,000 cans per month, which represents about half of their single shift capacity. So they could go up to multiple shifts in a day if needed, and they do have that expansion potential if and when the market conditions present themselves. With existing and new brands already accepted and beginning to ship to new provinces, we expect to meet our break even in the second half of 2022. So it'll be super interesting to see if the company is able to achieve this goal. But again, I wanted to throw this in because this is a major milestone, especially in a lot of investors' minds when they're starting to put money into some of these smaller penny stock type of companies. And with that being said, there's a number of what we'll call wildcards that may actually increase or speed up this process. So potential changes leading to expanded market opportunities. So these would include things like increasing the 10 milligram THC can limit, increasing the carry limit above 5 cans, allowance for wider retail sale of CBD-based beverages, allowance to include wider range of ingredients, eased restrictions on advertising and promotion activity, and increased social acceptance and normalization of cannabis-infused beverages. So all of these various different bullish factors could actually accelerate the growth of companies like MLCL and correspondingly that break-even date. So to close things out here, you guys, I wanted to leave you with this slide. Why invest in MLCL? It really comes down to 4 reasons that are laid out in the investor presentation. They've got the right facility, and again, they've got the ability to scale from 6 million single units to 20 million cans annually. There's high barriers to entry for new people or companies wanting to enter this segment of the market. They've got huge upside potential and hidden opportunities. So those are the bullish opportunities we just talked about. Things like carry limits, higher potency, new marketing opportunity, consumption lounges, things like that. And they're uniquely focused on beverages. So unlike some of the other LPs or multi-state operators we've talked about on this channel, MLCL is 100% all in on the drink or beverage category. And based on the growth we're seeing in this category, I think that's really a competitive advantage, and it gives you a lot of exposure to this space in which I think is going to be a leading category for years and years to come. So for those reasons, you guys, I definitely encourage you to take a closer look at MLCL. It's going to be really interesting to see what the share price does throughout the remainder of the week based on this huge news that we just talked about. Again, congrats on the leadership team on this monumental development. If you're still watching the video at this point, make sure you hit the like button before you leave. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of MLCL, how they stack up to some of the other cannabis companies or stocks we've covered on this channel, and if you're currently holding shares or planning on purchasing any in the near future. With that being said, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.